The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends. He wants the middle class to pay the price for another huge tax cut that would mostly help him.
All right, let me stop him right there. Let me stop him right there. Donald Trump doesn't want to enact tax cuts to help himself. That's ridiculous. Donald Trump isn't that type of person. Donald Trump is a person who, unlike Kamala Harris, understands economics, understands trickle-down economics, understands that when tax cuts are given, not just to the middle class, but to Americans in general, forget about this class rhetoric. Oh, you're in the upper class. Oh, you're middle class. What are we doing for the lower class? Forget about that. Donald Trump is a businessman. He knows that in general, tax cuts, when applied across the board, help grow the economy. Because people have more money in their pockets to invest, to buy things that they want, to put back into the economy, and so on and so forth. That's what tax cuts do. Donald Trump understands that. He's not in this for himself. That is a completely baseless claim. Based on nothing. Based on nothing. Keep listening.
Rich friends. He killed a bipartisan immigration deal written in part by one of the most conservative Republicans in Congress that would have helped secure our southern border, because he thought trying to actually solve the problem would hurt his campaign.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not quite sure what bill Barack Obama is referring to here, but I'm assuming, like most other bills that Democrats are involved with, the reason Donald Trump knocked it down is because it was probably filled with a bunch of left-wing crap that had nothing to do with securing the border. The Democrats do this all the time. It's like their recent, I can't remember the name of it, their bill that they came out with a few months ago meant to deal with inflation. Had nothing to do with inflation. It was essentially money going to a bunch of left-wing groups and organizations, like green jobs and all the rest. Had nothing to do with inflation. Democrats do that all the time. Now, Barack Obama, ironically enough, is saying that, or insinuating that Donald Trump doesn't really want to secure the border, doesn't want to deal with that issue because, I don't know, he wouldn't have a platform to run on or some other nonsense. This is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump fought tooth and nail his entire 4 years. He fought the Democrats. He fought certain special interest groups and so on and so forth. Even Republicans. Some Republicans who were brainwashed and stood in his way. Donald Trump fought tooth and nail to secure the border. He did everything in his power. Instituting Remain in Mexico policies, building the wall, deportations, and on and on and on. He tried to get it under control. And for the most part, he did. And then Joe Biden got into office and unraveled the entire damn thing. That's how it went. That's how it went. Don't sit there and tell me that Donald Trump isn't serious about this issue. You know who's not serious about this issue? You Democrats. What have you done to secure the damn border? What are your proposals to get this thing under control? Thousands upon thousands of migrants coming up into our country. Many of whom, not all, but many, are criminals. Coming into our neighborhoods, into our communities, selling drugs and so on and so forth. What are you Democrats doing? You haven't done a damn thing about that. Keep listening.
He doesn't. Do not boo. Vote. He doesn't seem to care if more women lose their reproductive freedom, since it won't affect his life.
Folks, he's obviously referencing abortion, Roe v. Wade, which the Supreme Court overturned. Donald, what's interesting, ironically enough, folks, is that since Roe v. Wade has been overturned, many of these blue states are, performing abortions left and right. In many of these blue states, people actually have more access now to abortion than they did before. The overturning of Roe v. Wade, folks, doesn't outlaw abortion. It gives the power to the states. As it should. It's a state issue. It's a state issue. What Donald Trump doesn't believe in is compelling all 50 states, even red states, even states in the Bible Belt, and so on and so forth, compelling them, forcing them to perform abortions when their own state governments, when their own people don't want to. That's what happened when Roe v. Wade was overturned. But Barack Obama is going to stand there like an idiot and insinuate that Donald Trump is against women, doesn't believe in women's rights, is misogynist, and all the rest. We've heard this many times before. It's not true. It's not true. Keep listening.
And most of all, Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between the real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't.
Let me educate this idiot. This country is divided because we have two different visions for this country. We don't unite around Donald Trump. Us conservatives aren't uniting around Trump. We're uniting around America. We're uniting around freedom. We're uniting around the Constitution. That's what we real Americans are uniting around. Donald Trump just happens to be the vehicle that will deliver this vision for us, that will bring us back to constitutional government, that will get the government the hell back in the box that is the Constitution. Donald Trump is the vehicle for this, and so we support him. Of course we do. You liberals don't believe in this. And so, look, I'm all in favor of unification. I am. I think we need to unite. Liberals, Republicans. It would be great. But if we do unite, it needs to be under the Constitution. If they don't even recognize the Constitution, if they don't even recognize the individual freedom, then it's a non-starter for me. We can't unite with people like that because their vision, their mentality is so dramatically different. It's detached from our founding. It's detached from who we truly are as a country. And of course, they try to redefine us. They try to tell us what America really is all about. They think they have it all figured out. They don't. They're trying to make America into something that it's not. I'm all for uniting. But we unite around America. The real America. Keep listening.
And he wants you to think that you'll be richer and safer if you will just give him the power to put those other people back in their place.
You know what's ironic about this? He's talking about Donald Trump as though he only cares about himself. Barack Obama saying that Donald Trump just wants power. You know what's ironic? No one is more power hungry than the elected liberal Democrat. No one is more power hungry than the Washington, D.C. politician. You folks are power hungry. You, Barack Obama, when you were president, you were power hungry. You wanted power. You believe in centralization. You believe in more government. Telling us whether or not we can own guns, telling us what we can buy, instituting regulations, and so on and so forth. Encroaching on pretty much every aspect of our lives. Massively expanding the welfare state. And on and on and on. You're all about power, not us, not Donald Trump. So let's set the record straight.